I'm winning today. I refuse to lose. I'm winning today, 'cause that's what I choose. Winning today, got my mind on victory. I'm winning today, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm winning today, I refuse to lose. I'm winning today, 'cause that's what I choose. Winning today, got my mind on victory. I'm winning today, nothing's gonna stop me.
Refuse to lose.
Whoa. Oh yes.
Winning, that's what I do.
Help me say I'm winning. I'm winning today. I refuse to lose. I'm winning today, 'cause that's what I choose. I'm winning today. Got my mind on victory. I'm winning today. Nothing is gonna stop me, 'cause I refuse to lose. I'm winning. Winning, that's what I do. Oh, I'm winning. I refuse to lose. Victory is my name. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm more than a conqueror in my home. I'm winning on my job. I'm winning in my health. I'm winning in my mind. I'm winning in my family. They said I wouldn't make it, but I'm winning. They said I wouldn't be here today, but yeah. Somebody go tell cancer. Please notify depression. Tell COVID-19. But most of all, let the devil know. You sure can't stop me. You can't block me because if God before me, He's more than the world against me. In my home, I'm winning. On my job, I'm winning. In my health, I'm winning. In my mind, I'm winning. In my family, they said I wouldn't make it, but I'm winning. They said I wouldn't be here today, but yeah. Somebody go tell cancer. Please notify depression. Tell COVID-19. But most of all, let the devil know. You sure can't stop me. You can't block me because if God before me, He's more than the world against me. I'm winning. Yes, I'm winning. I refuse to lose. I'm winning. I'm winning.
is your pastor, R.C. Blakes Jr., and I am thoroughly excited about our time together this week in Bible study. I need you to invite some others while I get some things situated here. Invite some others to come in and to be a part of our Bible study today. If you've really been paying attention, if you're a member of New Home Church, in the physical sense, you go to any of the locations, or if you are a part of the cyber church community, you should have heard by now that I have challenged the body to go on a financial fast for the beginning of this year, the month of January. At least some have been chiming in, and they've been saying that they are going to actually go deeper into the year with this financial or this spending fast, as I call it. And it's just a time to really, recondition your mind relative to money and relative to your finances, because a lot of the time we're not realizing the blessings of God because we're wasteful. And the whole purpose of this financial fast is to put us in a position where we can clearly see that that God is really blessing us with more, many times more than we need, but we're spending what we do not need to spend. And so I've asked the body to go on this financial fast where we eliminate all unnecessaries. Everybody knows that I'm a restaurant guy, excuse me, but we've been eating at home, no Amazon, no going to the mall, none of those things. And it is proving to be a tremendous mindset shifting experience for a lot of our brothers and sisters in the body of Christ. And so with that in mind, just to encourage those of you that are flowing with us in terms of this financial fast, I want to talk about the wisdom of strategic conservation. The wisdom of strategic conservation. And of course, when we think about conservation, holding on to something, it was my late father, Prophet Robert Charles Blake Sr., that tried to drill this principle into me, that it is imperative for a man to be able to hold on to a dollar. And one of the ways he did that was he challenged me to keep a certain bill, a piece of money in the back of my wallet, and to forget it was there and to never spend it, to hold on to it. And from time to time, he would check in to see, do you still have your bill with you? Do you still have your bill? And I held on to that bill really for, I would say, a couple of years, adding to it actually, where I had X amount of dollars in the back of my wallet, and I never considered having that money in terms of spending. When I got to that point, I was broke, because if you never learn to hold on to a piece of money, and if everything you put your hands on, you're spending, you live your life as a professional consumer, and you'll never be a producer or a participant in the very economy that you're fueling. Like those of us that run around and we wear all of the latest name brands and the biggest designers. And I mean, I clothes like that as well. But it's horrible to be a person out here wearing all of these different labels and all of these designers, and you don't have as much money as you spend on that outfit in a bank. Or, because if you don't learn how to hold on to money, you'll never be in a position where you will have money to invest. which, according to how my father taught me, that's the real purpose of a savings account. A savings account is to discipline you to hold on to money. They ain't giving you no interest on no savings account too much, unless you find one of these special deals where you're getting that 5% or whatever. But most cases, they're giving you nothing for a savings account. The beauty of a savings account is you learn to accumulate, you learn to hold on to a piece of money, and then you grow your money to a certain point where now you know it's time to shift this over into an investment of some kind. Be it whatever, real estate, precious metals, stocks, bonds, whatever it may be. But you'll never get to investing if you don't learn to hold on to it. If everything you get, you are spending and you never learn to conserve, you will always be the consumer. You will never be the producer, and you will never be able to participate in the economy that you are fueling. The majority of the United States of America is fueling an economy they don't participate in, but from the consumer level, which is the slave level. And so there's a wisdom that plays into strategic conservation, conserve, holding on, having a mind that I'm not going to spend everything, but I'm going to hold on. If I make $10, I'm going to give God his dollar, the tithe, and I'm going to at least put $1 aside for myself. And then I'm going to pay everybody else. But I'm going to give God his. I'm going to save. I'm going to keep mine for me, right? If I make $100,000, I'm going to give God his $10,000, and I'm going to at least push back 10 for me, at least that. And then I'll do whatever I need to do with the rest of that in terms of paying bills and what have you. But you got to get to this point where you have your first mind is not to consume, but to conserve. Now, when I thought about this, of course, there's no biblical character that models this principle of conservation better than Joseph. Joseph was the great conserver. The story of Joseph and, the 7 years of plenty, followed by the 7 years of famine. Remember when he was in jail and Pharaoh needed somebody to interpret this dream, and he called Joseph, and Joseph interpreted the dream. He said it's going to be 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine. And Pharaoh says, I don't find anybody wise enough in the kingdom to manage the kingdom other than you. And so Joseph went from the prison to the palace because he had the wisdom of conservation. Oh, there's a revelation in that. You can transition from the prison to the palace this year in terms of your outcomes if you employ the wisdom of conservation. Now, I didn't want to read all of those verses, but you find the story of Joseph and his interpretation of the dream in Genesis 41, 46 through 57, and also in Genesis 47, 13 through 26, where Pharaoh puts Joseph over the project. And, in Story of Joseph in this book, Joseph's wisdom and foresight prepared Egypt for the years of famine. And he prepared Egypt for the years of famine by leading them into conservation. Let's not eat up everything, but let's push back. Let's store up. Let's not eat up. Let's store up. Let's conserve during these 7 years. So when the 7 years of famine come, during these 7 years of plenty, let's store up. And so when the 7 years of famine come, we'll have enough to live off of, and we'll also have enough to supply the world. We'll be able to sell. While the world is starving, we'll be in business. I pause right there because I need you to think about that. While the world is starving, you're supposed to be in business, but it requires the wisdom of conservation. Now, there are about let's see how many points I have here. I have about six points, and then I'm done. I'm going to let you out of here. 6 points. The first piece of wisdom that we glean from Joseph's strategy to conserve is that we must conserve because we have to save for a future. We have to save for a future. Joseph, the principle of saving during times of plenty for times of scarcity is clearly demonstrated in Joseph's actions there again in Genesis 41, 46 through 49. It describes how Joseph stored up grain during the years of plenty. You see, you don't need to go down there and take your money and spend all your money down there with these people for their goods because you have it to spend. The wisdom of my late father was, he said to me, he said, Bob, I was saying to him, I was trying to talk my dad into buying a Mercedes. And he said, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I said, Dad, you can afford it. He said, I can't afford it. He says, but you know what, son, let Daddy tell you something and never forget it. He would always say, never forget it when it was important. He said, if a man does everything he can do today, he will not be able to do anything tomorrow. If you're out here doing it because you can do it, you will eventually come to a point where you won't be able to do not only that, but nothing else that is necessary. You have to learn to conserve to secure your future. And this principle emphasizes the importance of having a financial safety net for the future. How much money do you have saved? I see you flashing with all of these expensive bags and all your expensive shoes with the different colors under the bottom and all of that. I see you with all your logos all over your suit and everything. But what do you have saved? If the economy failed today or tomorrow, if tomorrow they say, okay, well, we got to shut everything down. There's another pandemic. And you can't go to your job no more. Economy shut down. Are you going to be sitting around wishing, hoping, and depending on the government to bail you out? Or do you have something stored away to sustain you and your family? If you're not saving, you're not a visionary. Don't tell me you're a visionary and you don't handle money well. You're not a visionary if you don't handle money well, because a visionary means you're looking into the future. And there's no way you can look into the future and not have a concern for putting away resources in the present, because your future has to be financed. None of us are getting younger, right? The airplanes I jump on and off of now, the ripping and running I do now with churches and all of that kind of thing, there's coming a day when I'm not going to feel up to that. My age and my body will say, okay, even if you are in great health, it's time to relax yourself now. Only way to have that future is that I got to take this time in my life now where I'm making resources and I got to send certain resources into my future. That's what a savings is. It is sending resources into your future before you arrive. What are you sending into your future? Is everything going into your stomach? Is everything going onto your back? Is all of your money being driven up and down the streets of the United States of America or in other countries of the world? You spending all your money on cars, clothes, and meals or restaurants? Going back to Joseph in Genesis 41, verses 46 through 49, it says, Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. During the 7 plentiful years, the earth produced abundantly, and he gathered up all the food of these 7 years, which occurred in the land of Egypt, and put the food in the cities. He put in every city the food from the fields around it. He went all over Egypt, and he was storing up grain in all of the cities so that there would be resources in every region, every city of Egypt that people could go to when the famine would come. You have to know that a famine is coming. You got to know a famine is coming. Life is cyclical. It's not going to always be money hand over fist. Life is cyclical. There's some of you that have lived long enough to have seen multiple lean seasons, but yet you've not developed the wisdom of conservation, strategic conservation. You got to save for your future. You know, you got to save for your future. Proverbs 21:20 says, the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Here's a quote for you. Save a portion of your income during times of plenty, for you do not know what the future holds. It's wisdom, isn't it? Now, as an action step, you should establish a systematic approach to saving by setting aside a portion of income in a dedicated savings or investment account. Creating a budget that includes a regular contribution to savings can help individuals build a financial cushion for the future. You typically get much better interest rates on money market accounts. In some cases today, at this moment that I'm teaching this, you can find higher yielding savings accounts, but you don't want to just stick your money in something that they're paying you less than 1%. You want to make as much money as you can, but you want to develop the habit of saving for your future. Pushing aside, if you can fix it where it comes directly out of your check and goes directly to your particular account for savings, do it that way. But you want to develop the wisdom of strategic conservation that you always have, right? You'll always have something to put your hands on, that you're never in a posture where you're around here having to beg somebody, excuse me, to meet your need or to bail you out, bail yourself out. God has put you in a position and God has given you the brilliance that you can bail yourself out. Stop developing lifestyles that spend up all of the money you make. Bring your lifestyle beneath your earning. That's the whole point of this month, going on this spending fast, for you to be able to see you can actually live off of less money than you thought. And you don't need all of this junk that you've been medicating your low self-esteem with, or medicating your depression or your trauma with. When you see the malls full of people running around just buying like they've lost their mind, that is trauma that has not been addressed. An overstuffed closet is evidence of a cluttered soul. Evidence, rather, of an empty soul. That's the way I said it years ago. An overstuffed closet is evidence of an empty soul, and could be evidence of a cluttered soul, or you have so much stuff going on in your head and your soul that you've not processed, and you find a way to medicate the pain by buying stuff. That's the way Americans do it. We purchase. We try to purchase the pain away. You can't purchase the pain away. And the sooner you learn you don't need all of this junk. Number two, the wisdom of strategic conservation is budgeting and planning. Joseph's careful planning and his management of resources during the years of plenty demonstrate the importance of long-term financial planning. By creating and following a budget, individuals can allocate resources wisely, ensuring that they are prepared for future uncertainties. Now, when you start thinking about a budget, what is a budget? A budget is a list of items. Number one, it starts off with how much money do you make? Then it will list how much money do you owe? What does it cost you to live? And what has to happen is you got to take the number of what it costs you to live and make it smaller than the number of how much money you make. And if the number relative to what it costs you to live is bigger than the number of how much you're making, you got to do one of two things. You gotta cut the expenses, relative to what it takes for you to live. That may mean you need a smaller car or a much less expensive car. That may mean you can't go to restaurants in this season. That may mean you need a different house. That may mean you may not be able to shop but once or twice a year, if that much. You got to cut the expenses to where what you're needing to live is less than how much you make. It either means that, or it means if your expenses are absolute necessities and there's nothing to cut, there's no fat, in other words, it means that you got to earn more money. Somebody needs another job, or somebody may need to go to work. We may need to get these grown children that are sleeping under our roofs off of the couch, and they may need to get a job so they can contribute to the household rather than just sitting around consuming. They need to be participants. They need to be contributors, right? But some kind of way you got to budget and plan. Now, I get it. I hate budgets too. I hate budgets. My wife can tell you, I hate budgets. My wife sat me down many years ago. I was complaining about, where all the money going? Where all the money going? Where's all the money going? And man, my wife sat me down and we were sitting in the bed. She took and threw all the bills out in the bed, just bed covered with bills. You said, this is how much you're spending on that. That's how much goes to that. That's a calculator, big old calculator with the paper thing that roll out, This is how much you're bringing in. This is how much going up. This is how much you're bringing. This is how much going up. That's where all the money going. Oh my God. Bet you I never asked her that again. Where all the money going? If you look over in Genesis 41, 53 through 57, it says the 7 years of abundance in Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began. That's when you're going to love having had a budget, because when you budget, you're going to put God first, you're going to put you second. And so that means you're going to have something in store. You're going to have some savings when the 7 years of plenty are over. And the 7 years of famine begins. It says when the 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph had said, there was famine in all the other lands, but in the whole land of Egypt, there was food. Why was there food? He budgeted for it. He said, y'all not going to eat up all of this. Y'all going to eat this much, and the rest of this, we're going to put this in storehouses in every city. And when the famine hit, all of the lands, because they did not have the wisdom of God and they did not exercise the wisdom of strategic conservation, all of the lands had to come to Egypt to buy grain because they exercised what? Strategic conservation. That's what I'm challenging you to do. I'm challenging you to exercise strategic conservation. In other words, we're not just going to just go on a spending fast. I want you to start praying about even extending it. Some have already said, I'm going to extend this. This is going to become a discipline of mine. And then as you see money beginning to pile up, you got to start getting educated on where to put it. Don't ask me where to put it. I'm no financial advisor. Go to somebody that specializes in money, like I do. I don't know nothing about how. Go find somebody who can tell you what to do with it. Bottom line is you got to budget and plan. Make plans for your money. The system makes plans for your money. That's why they throw those commercials out. They want to throw those commercials out to appeal to your emotion, to get you to run down there and spend your money on their product. They're planning on your money. You got to make plans for your own money. And the only way you can make plans for your own money is that you must budget and plan it out. Luke 14:28, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Don't just go out here and just spontaneously spend your money. Budget your money. Plan for it. This is what I want. Okay, I'm going to plan for it. I'm going to wait this long for it. Rather than going down here and swiping a card and giving these people 18% interest or whatever, the interest rate might be, I'm going to just save from month to month, and I'm going to get this cash in the next 6 months. I'm going to get this cash in the next year, and I'm going to go down there and buy it cash. That's how you live financially free, right? You shouldn't be out here carrying large balances on your on your credit cards. You shouldn't. You shouldn't have your credit cards maxed out. Those credit cards are a trick of the devil. What does it do? It allows you to spend money you don't have. And so what happens is you're actually living way above your means, and people are taking it. The system is taking advantage of you. If you really can handle a credit card, you know what you're able to do? You're able to use the credit card and you're able to pay it off at the end of the month. My card of preference is American Express because I love the points. I travel a lot and I pay it off. I don't carry balances. But you got to live within a budget because it's very easy for your financial situation to get away from you, especially when you start factoring in credit cards. When you say, okay, this is what I make, and this is where I must live within this. And I'm not going outside of this. I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm not trying to keep up with nobody. I don't care what my neighbor's doing. This is what I can afford. My cousin, Neil Smith, Super Bowl champ, Denver Broncos, 2 years. He won Super Bowls with them, I think 2 years, both years. Started off with Kansas City Chiefs back in the day when he was playing in the league. Somebody was saying, well, come let's go with Neil to go do this. I said, no, I'm not going with Neil. I can't afford to run with that. Neil's a millionaire. I can't afford to. I can't go out there and participate. My budget don't allow me to run with that. And I'm not looking for nobody else to pay my way. So ain't no need me going out there. I'm going to celebrate my cousin while he doing what he doing. I'm going to stay over here in my lane, in my budget, and I'm going to work my little stuff out, right? You got to learn to live your life like that. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Stop trying to be, on the same page with everybody. You ain't got those people's wallet. You got your wallet. You got to learn to live out of your wallet. Always praying for miracles when you should be sitting down praying for Holy Spirit to give you a realistic budget. Here's your action step. Develop a personal or household budget that outlines income, expenses, and savings goals. Regularly review and adjust the budget as needed to ensure financial stability and preparedness for future needs. Now, today, as you are watching this, if you need to give your life to the Lord Jesus Christ, this invitation is for you. I want you to, there's an email address on the screen. I would love for you to email us and just let us know that you need someone to reach out to you, to pray with you, and to guide you. We'd love nothing better than to lead you to the Lord Jesus Christ, and that you would make him Lord and Savior of your life. And that maybe even New Home would become your place of fellowship, your official place of worship and fellowship in the physical sense or in the cyber sense. Use that email address on the screen. Now let's get prepared to honor the Lord with the tithe and with the seed. Now, there are some of you that have not sown your first fruit seed of $2.24. I want you to do that today. Do it right now. All of the giving apparatuses are on the screen. I want you to do that right now. Sow the seed of $2.24 as your first fruit seed. And this, of course, is a new year. In the first quarter of this year, I'm challenging all members of New Home to try God according to Malachi 3:8-10 with the tithe. He said, prove me now, test me or try me. See if I won't open for you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you won't have room to receive. I'm challenging you to try God this first quarter of this new year. And I want you to see what God will do in your life. I want you to try God with the tithe. Those of you that are already committed to the tithe and honor the Lord on that level, I want you to begin to tithe. The seed I'm asking you to sow today is a $52 seed. Every person that God has been good to and you have a willingness of heart, I want you to sow the $52 seed today. Now listen, just know that I love you. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you at our New Home Family Worship Center Houston location this Sunday. I will be there live and in living color. It's going to be an amazing time this Sunday. I want to see you at New Home Family Worship Center, 4805 Shermire Road. And of course, this Friday night, we are having our family communion. This is our family leadership summit this weekend. Family communion. They're coming from Houston, Jackson, Mississippi, Hammond, Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge. And Friday night, we're going to have Holy Communion together as one big family. And then Saturday morning, beginning at 9 a.m., we're going to be in our Leadership Summit. You can still register for the Leadership Summit. You don't have to be a member of New Home Ministries to be registered for the Leadership Summit. You just follow the information on the screen, and you can join us this weekend as well. And of course, it's free. Costs you absolutely nothing. And of course, Friday night is open to the public as well. Come and be a part of our Holy Communion as a family. FOCFI, looking for you Friday night, looking for you Saturday morning. All of this flows together. We are reimagining what ministry looks like together. And so, pastors, bring your leaders, feel free. It's going to be an enlightening time. Keep giving, keep tithing, keep sowing. Know that we love you. You're on top. You're going higher. God has more in store for you. So we will see you at the top. God bless you.
Well, family, that was a life-changing word from our Bishop, Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr. I love it that he just teaches us something great that will impact our life. I know Bishop has already given you the different ways and means that you can sow into our ministry, be a blessing to our church, but I want you to know about a way you can be a blessing to our man of God. As a matter of fact, take out your phone right now and scan that QR code. You can sow into his Cash App that way, or if not, you can put in $ ROBERTBLAKESJR. You can also sow through his personal website or go to the Givelify app and sow to New Home Family Worship Center. Sow a good seed into Bishop Blake's life. It is good ground.